Hey guys, and welcome to another episode. Today in this video, I'm going to be disassembling a transmission because I want the internals in here so I can swap them onto the Accord. So right here, I have a transmission from a 2005 Acura RSX. And what's so special about this transmission is that the gearing inside of here is a lot shorter than the gearing inside my car. Now, not only that, this is a 6-speed transmission with an aftermarket limited slip differential inside of there, and I'm going to be taking that out and swapping it into the Accord. So the game plan is to open up this transmission, take the casing off, take the internals of here, and throw them into the internals of my transmission. So the internals down here are what we want. So we're gonna have to take open the transmission and remove each one of these bolts to take this part off and get the goodies that are in there. But the reason why I can't use this casing on my car is because the way it lines up, the speed sensor and everything else are in different locations, which means that I could get it to run, but there would be a lot of modifying. So I'd find this to be an easier way to do it. And yeah, let's get to it. So before we do anything, we're gonna have to remove the drain bolt down here to allow all the transmission fluid that's in there to be evacuated. Now it's gonna need a 3/8 drive to take that out. There's the 3/8 down there for the drain. And if you were to say fill it up, you're gonna be using a 17, and that's what that is right there. So this is what we did so far. So we got the transmission and we put it up on a little stand like this right here. And we allowed all the transmission fluid to drain out into this little catch can down here. So we did that, and then we removed each one of the 12mm bolts that surround the transmission casing to the actual transmission right here. And then we removed the 10mm bolts up here, if my camera will focus. These 10mm bolts that secure the shifter linkages together, we removed that, along with the 12mm?
Yep.
The 12mm down here.
That's an 8
the 8mm, yeah, the 8mm Allen. So we just took that out, and now we're at this step. Now, last but not least, we also removed the 14mm Allen right here that's holding that in for the reverse gear. And then at this step, we just need to get a pry bar and pry this little shifter connection out. So in each one of these holes right here, there was a bolt like this with a washer and a ball in it. You're gonna have to remove each one of them before you can continue on to the next step. So in order to take the casing off right here, what we did is we grabbed a set of pliers like this. We push them inside of there and we spread it out just like that. And then at that point, all that we did was we put a little bit of pressure on the side down here, put pressure up, and we were able to get a little bit of crack and gap in between the entire thing. Now at this point, we can take the casing and remove it from the transmission. So now we can lift up on the housing and it exposes all of the gears that are in the transmission. Okay, Cody, fire away.
Okay, so this is the inside of the transmission. This is a 05-06 Acura RSX K20Z1 transmission. And I'm gonna explain to you what every part is. This is reverse, so it's just freelance. Your first gear is at the bottom. Now this shaft here is called the main shaft. This shaft here is your counter shaft. So the only thing the main shaft does is follow pretty much, except for reverse. So this is reverse here. So when you put the car in reverse, this goes here, the reverse actually slides down, and that is reverse. So when you're in neutral, this slides back up, and this is here. And then when you go to first, that slides down. Now over here on the counter shaft does the most work. You have the shifter forks, and these are the sliders. Now every time you clutch in, you shift gears. So down here would be first gear, and then second gear is middle, then third gear, then fourth. Oh, sorry, hold on. This would be fourth, fifth, and then sixth gear is at the very top. So you have 1, reverse, 2, 3, 4, 5th, and 6th. And you have the bearing at the top. And at the very bottom of the main shaft, you have what you call the final drive, which is here. So this is a 4/7 final drive. So very close geared transmission. So if you look closely, the synchros are in excellent shape. They're not all worn down. If they're worn down, they will look kind of like a pyramid, but they still look kind of like a, you could say, a dog bone. Now, when it comes to shifting, this is kind of complex. So because the RSX Type-S uses shifter cables and not a linkage, the shifter mechanism actually goes in here and it controls everything. So this So this fork here, this is for your first gear. So that's first. So the selector, when you put it in first gear, this goes down like this. Then you go second gear and it slides it up. Then third gear is there. And then when you go to fourth gear now that shifter is not being used. It would be this one. And then this controls fourth, fifth, and sixth. And reverse is this little one, and this actually rides on the fourth, fifth, and sixth shifter fork. So it needs, and then so that was reverse, as you heard that. So, and then the reverse, for the reverse lights is this little sensor right here. So it makes the contact with the switch, and that automatically sends the 12-volt power to your reverse lights.
And if you guys remember, not too long ago, we just replaced this sensor on the Volkswagen Golf. You guys saw how easy it was. It's just a matter of taking this out and screwing a new one back in. So for me to install the new transmission on the car, I first need to go ahead and remove my transmission from my vehicle in order to swap the internals on this with the internals that are currently on the car. Now that's going to be for a future video, but in the meantime, I'm going to be leaving it like this. And in the next video where I'm going to be playing around with the transmission, this is going to be going in my car. So if you have any questions regarding the video, throw them down in the comment section below, and I'd be happy to help. Again guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. So now the next step is going to be me taking the car apart. I'm going to be removing the transmission from my vehicle. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to disconnect the subframe, the axles, the wheels, and everything. Look, what are we doing?
What?
What are we doing?
We're gonna headlight.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were doing.